Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here, and now, before we begin, let us give a brief little review. In the last part, a number of events have happened. We had Deku. We also had the group. Now, Deku, he was alive. He found himself alive after dragging himself out of the pit's waters and meeting Surnadai. The man was quite happy to meet Izuku for the first time. And after their little conversation, Tsunade got a little hostile. Deku had to throw punches at the man and run. He finds himself enhanced, and with physicalities he has never had. Faster, stronger, more durable. And he went to UA, one of the only places he could think to hide. UA was empty. The only zombie there that was Mina. And Izuku, whenever he finally met Mina, he learned there was two sides to the story. Not just being one of the survivors, being one of the infected. Mina was losing her mind. Quite literally. She was forgetting who she was. She was trying to hold on to the little bits of her sanity that were burning away. And this, it was rather heartbreaking to Izuku. She talks about a voice in her head. Everybody hears it. Everybody has to listen to it. Otherwise, they forget. And this, Izuku not only did not hear, he was worried about. He doesn't know if he's going to be corrupted by this said voice or not. However, one of his main concerns right now is his family, his group. He found out that the group are still alive, and this is good. He also donned a disguise and gave Chizuki a sample of his blood for the men to analyze. And the group were rather confused as to why somebody would drop this off with them. Now, it has currently been about a month, and currently it is the beginning of September, if not somewhere around the beginning of that month. So yeah, this does mean a lot. Winter is on the horizon, and the group, they might be in just a little bit of danger. Things are heating up. Well, the opposite actually, but you get the meaning. With winter on the horizon, they need to be prepared for anything. They need to be prepared in case things get a little, let's just say, dark. The group are still trying to debate what to do. Nejire still wants to figure it out with the whole robot thing. And the group, they have been somewhat at a bit of a stonewall. Bakugo doesn't want to go through with his plan. It could be disastrous. It could unnecessarily destroy parts of the dam. And it could be a problem. But Nejire has made things clear. There are people divided on this. Some don't want to do this because of the number of casualties it could bring. Some want to do this. But then there's also Bakugo's whole thing. He doesn't want to poison these people, and he doesn't want to kill them. He wants to believe that there's a way to negotiate. There may not be. If they can't, they need to be ready for an assault on the dam. Yes, the army is a good idea, but what about the things they're not thinking about? A massive firefight breaks out where there are gunshots flying. What about a stray bullet? What about the fact that if they use any explosives, they could still destroy or harm parts of the dam, let alone draw in a horde of fucking zombies? If they have a war break out, it will be a dinner bell ringing. And then, they'll defend the area from that. They've already seen some of the infected that have made their way out further and further away from the hive. If this does go bad, and it will go bad, they need to be prepared for possibilities. Bakugo may not be the smartest person in the room, but he knows goddamn well what they should be doing. He knows well what they should have planned. It's honestly a bit scary though. He doesn't want all these people to die. But if it does mean survival of his group, He very well might have to. He wants to find an alternative. He wants to see the best in people. He wants to keep his word, however. Deku changed. He changed a lot to lead them, to keep them alive. And if it does take that, he might have to as well. He might have to be a murderer. Innocent blood on his hands, just so he can live another day, another week, another year, and a world unforgiving. And a world that honestly may not even be worth it. And these are some of the things running through Bakugo's mind. Currently, him a bit worried. And while this is currently happening, we do cut to Chizuki, who has been rather obsessed with the blood he's obtained. The man who came by their camp a month ago and dropped this blood off. However he got it, he needs to know. Wherever he got it from, he needs to know. I mean, this is... It's almost beautiful in a corrupted sort of way. The data he's getting from it is incredible. And currently, he does sit there, working away in his lab and trying to analyze everything. This means a bit. That person has come back 3 more times. And today, they're assuming they'll be back. It's been several days since their last quote-unquote landing. And from what they're aware of, they want supplies in exchange for this blood. They knew how valuable it was. But they're not just going to give it up? They're not just going to hand it over? No, they have to hand this over. And currently this does go through Overhaul's mind. Him walking out of his lab with a lot in his head. And currently, he does going to make his way through the manor. Right now, him stepping outside and going to wait. It's almost 9 in the morning, right? He should be getting sleep soon. He should probably settle in and get things done. Though, if he can find something that can help him, find anything, it'll be good. It should mean a bit. Then again, he also has to have his own patience. Currently him turning back to the manor and thinking about Eri. Eri, he put the girl through a lot, but right now she believes that she's safe. Though he still does have his own concerns. With this world over with and done, with this world changed, will there even be a way for her to grow up? He's put her through torture. He will not fucking deny that. He knows what he's done. He can't be redeemed. But he wants to try. He wanted to prevent a world like this from existing. And honestly, his research, it could benefit. It could benefit from a lot of things. He needs that data, that information. He should still have it back at his lab. He can use what he does already have, and he should have samples of Eri's blood still at the lab. It should still be there. He could get fresh samples, but the girl's already been through enough. No. The girl is strong. Eri is strong. Don't fall back into that line of thinking. She's human. Remember to see her as that, Chizuki. Remember that. Don't make that same mistake again. Don't try to rationalize it. This being one of the many thoughts going through his mind. And currently, somebody is walking down the road. Chizuki turning his head and going to pull his hand down into his pocket. Him grabbing a radio and pulling it out. Turning it on and sending a click. Him going to turn and look up towards the top of the building. As somebody, they do just want to throw their head over after they hear that one click. And this, it does not surprise them. Currently, Chizuki going to hold the radio and ask them if anything's been happening. Then I'm holding up the radio as well. And no, everything's been fine. So, is our mysterious guest here yet? Not yet. You really think that he's going to be coming today? I'm sure he will be. It's been a bit of time, though I am curious about. I won't explain too much of it to you. It's very complicated. But from what I've been able to tell, if this is blood from a smart zombie, then it's clearly mutated. But at the same time, for some of the other infected I have seen, it's a little bit more stable. Stable? Yes, yes. Elements of it have been breaking down, but still. I believe that to be natural, and at the same time unnatural. They're reforming. What do you mean they're reforming? The cells are decaying as fast as they're rejuvenating. It's almost beautiful. Listen, it's a small sample. I can't tell, but I need an actual subject to test this on. Find out more. See what I can do. It could be the key to finding something to. You hesitated there for a minute. I don't want. I want to keep this under wraps right now, but I don't want people to think I've made a cure yet. It's not a cure. There is no cure. Doc, when are you going to get that through your head? There has to be a cure. This isn't up for debate, Doctor. Listen, your guess is almost here. I can see him through my rifle. Besides, you're leaving somebody waiting. Then I'm going to turn. As currently overall, just a bolt down the road. And we do actually have where Nedre does sit on the roof. A lot in her mind. There is no cure. That's an unfortunate fact. Right? With how heavily mutated people have gotten, there's no way to solve that. There's the idea of this being singularity, and then there's the idea of this being some sort of evolution. She's heard people talk, people at other camps. They've said things, and they're reporting in that they've been seeing more unique infected, as they've been called. They look human. A little too much. What was that one thing called? The Uncanny Valley? Whatever that is. She's heard about it. Someone talked about it before. It must have happened before, right? Something that looks human but isn't. It's a weird phenomenon. But as far as you can tell, there's something that isn't human out there. Maybe monsters or myths or whatever. Then again, the monsters nowadays are zombies. That does pose questions, though. Has this happened before? No, that sounds crazy. This is going through her mind. And Nedre, she is trying to rationalize a few things. However, it's a little hard to do. Her mind is overstressed. Her mind is overworked. Mentally, she's exhausted. And she's gone through the numbers in her head. She can defy Bakugo all she wants. But the moment she takes actions that Bakugo may not like, there could be a problem with the group. They're having trouble staying together, staying unified and formed. They're not cohesive. That's a problem. Bakugo is trying to minimize casualties. He's trying to, well, be the good guy. But this world doesn't have good guys anymore. It just has survivors. And we do currently have Chizuki, who does come running over and seeing Izuku. right now Deku with his face covered, a pair of goggles, and a hoodie on. Him staying there and going to step forwards. Currently, him setting down a vial as Chizuki, he will gonna watch Deku back away. The man standing there and asking the quote unquote mystery man exactly if he'd be willing to come inside and talk. Deku looking up, a little bit more surprised. Him goes on nod his head, no. And the man does try to ask if he's been in contact with other doctors. Listen, he has a few ideas as to what to do. It'll take a lot more blood and a lot more research. Exactly how did he capture a smart zombie? How did he capture these creatures? And Deku does stare at Chizuki. The man's a doctor from what he knows. He's intelligent. However, he looks like he hasn't slept. That's a problem. And Deku, he would bring his hand up. Currently, him throwing his bag down on the ground. And Chizuki does notice that it does seem to be a little bit heavier than it should be. And Izuku did that with a little bit too much ease. Though he doesn't hold his tongue. This person is probably strong. Stronger than him, that's for sure. And Deku, he would go to pull out a notebook. Him holding up a pen and beginning to write a few things down. Before going to somewhat step forwards. Him doing so hesitantly as he would going to somewhat hold out the pen and paper to Chizuki. Him reading the words Deku's written. Found it. Pinned. Using it to advantage. Don't ask more. You found a zombie pinned? Where? Deku shaking his head no. And the man, he does stare on. A bit annoyed. However, he does then express. Okay. Listen. He's willing to give the kid some resources, right? That's why he keeps coming out here. He knows they provide weapons and ammo. What does he want? He could try to talk to his group. See about something? His research is experimental. But he knows a lot about this range. A lot about human DNA. He's, well, not gonna lie. He's done some unsavory things in the past, before the world ended, to try and figure things out. He got wind of this. That's how he prepared. If he has a larger group, let him know. They must be desperate for food. Desperate for some things? Listen, if he's willing to, he can provide food. A lot of it. He can keep him safe for the winter. And Deku, he does stir on. The man expressing. He has a place that is locked down. It could supply food for at least 50 people for the next 10 years. And Deku, he does stare at the man. Him having his eyes widen a bit. Because that sounds too good to be true. That sounds a little too much. The man said he was prepared for the apocalypse. The man said he was prepared for a lot. Though Izuku himself doesn't believe it. He must be lying. Those numbers don't seem to add up. Or is his memory getting a little hazy? And this, it does not concern Izuku. Him, visibly, a bit more shocked by that. Bringing his hand up to his head, and still taking a bit of a step backwards. Chizuki feeling like he has the upper hand in this negotiation. If he can get more of that blood, he can find out more. Not only potentially save the world, but actually help a lot of people. Help save it. What's left of it. And currently, he does want to be inspired on a bit more. And Nejire, she is staring through that scope. Her watching this man talk with Dr. Chizuki. And there actually is Izuku, who does go to hold up his notebook as right now Nedre does get a glimpse of it. Her staring at a notebook that seems different. Right now, him gonna write down into it as Nedre does it a watch. Currently, him handing the notebook back over to Chizuki. And Chizuki, he has go back and forth. Deku bring his hand up as there is with the pen, there's a snap. Currently, her watching on. Him a bit annoyed, turning and tossing the pen to the ground, before going to turn to his bag with his left hand. Him going to bend down and pull something out, before bringing his right hand and Chizuki handing it back over, writing something down with his left hand this time. And Nedre does note this. The guy is dual-handed. That's odd. Huh. Okay, so what now? Her watching, and their actions with Deku, he does stare on. Before, he would turn his head and look up. Currently, Nedre making direct eye contact with the man that does stand there. And for a second, she feels odd. She feels a bit strange. Because that guy's eyes, they look a little off. They don't look right. Huh. Maybe a mutation quirk? Though, no. He must be able to see the glint. The glint of her looking down and seeing the shadow. Wait a second. Her turning her head. The sun isn't overhead. The sun isn't in front of her. It's still somewhat behind her. It's early this morning, but how the hell can he see her then? There's no glint. If there is, it would probably be on her side. Her holding the rifle up and currently trying to figure this out. It doesn't make sense. There shouldn't be. Then how? This making her a bit paranoid. Her taking aim again and seeing that the man is already gone. And Chizuki, he is walking back to the manor. And we do actually have Izuku, who currently has made a bit of a deal. He'll get the man more blood. He'll head back right now and get him what he wants. In exchange, he does want some knives and ammo. And this is rather intriguing. However, Dr. Chizuki, he also does want to know a lot more. He doesn't want to say they fuck this guy over. He doesn't want to say they do what they need to and kill him. But it's worth investigating. If he has a smart zombie trapped somewhere, he found one, they need to know what he's dealing with. Need to know what the hell and how he gets the blood. Chizuki has made it clear. It's vital to his research. I mean, shit. He already has plans to do a lot of things to help out. He's a goddamn doctor. It's important he does what he does. Though the group, they're not really too sure. Nedre right now could care less. She can care a lot less. There's more important things to focus on. Though, right now, Chizuki, he wants to disagree. He wants them all to know what kind of risk they're taking on this. He could find a way to disable the infection. At least, find a way to neutralize some of these zombies. Make a deterrent. Something that they can't take. I mean, it can help. Find out what kind of markers they have in their DNA and use them against them. Certain chemicals, maybe, to break them down. These things have quirks, like Mina. It's a problem. God forbid they run into fucking All Might out there. And the man bringing up some of these points, it does make the group a bit more aware. If they can find a way to make a deterrent to smart zombies, that could be worth a lot. I mean, a hell of a lot. More of these things are popping up anyways. People have been disappearing. And if he can save some lives, honestly, yeah, it might actually be worth investigating. In Shizuki, he is happy. Not only can he get more research, he can have an actual smart zombie in his own possession. Though, they will have to take their own precautions. From what he's heard about these things, they're fucking dangerous. I mean, survive gunshot wounds, be run over by a vehicle, and survive broken bones. Though, it's a little barbaric. But if he is going to keep one in his lab, he's going to take the necessary precautions. And I mean necessary precautions. He can't have it leave. He can't have it move. And if it can break through steel, then, well, it shouldn't have its limbs then. Though, if it also is feral, that'll be another problem. And then again, he could keep it in cold storage. No one said he had to keep it alive. And that's another thing. But killing one of those motherfuckers, even if it might be trapped, could be another story. It could take more than a bullet to the head. Though, from what they saw last time, that's all it took. But they'll figure out that situation out when they get there. They're losing this guy right now. And currently the group, they do to head out. Us currently having Nedre and Bakugo leave. The two do need to have a bit of a chat. And Bakugo, he's leaving because he needs to clear his mind a bit. Talk to this guy and find out more. Find out why he seems a little odd. He's secretive. Though he might just be a solo survivor. But that's more dangerous though. He's out here alone, not a part of any group. Or he could be one of those military guys, right? Try and get some information on them. It could be a spy, maybe. Yeah, no, that does fit a little bit. He's only asking for ammunition. And no, he could be a doctor for the military. Yeah, no, that's a whole other story. In this, it does all concern them. Currently them taking a vehicle and heading into the city. We do actually have Nedre, who she's driving, and Bakugo does sit in the passenger seat, them hauling ass down the road a little fast. And Deku, by the time they do actually make it into the city, he already is walking over a bridge. Him turning his head and seeing the vehicle. Them seeing the man as they go to drive under the bridge he's standing on. And they do need to try and make this a bit more aware. Make this a little bit more incognito. Her putting the car in neutral and allowing it to cruise. However, she also is trying to be a bit on the brakes. The vehicle, it's a little loud. But right now, it does slowly idle down the road. And Deku turns his head hearing that. It beginning to fade away a bit. And Izuku, he does have his own concerns. This could be a good way to... No. He can't. If he... No. Stop, Izuku. Stop. You can't risk that. No. Shit. Just stay focused. Stay focused. Okay. I need to eat something. No. Stop it. You're fine. Don't think about it. Don't. They're just going through Izuku's mind. He's hungry. He's in pain. His body doesn't feel right. He's so fucking hungry. And right now this does concern him. He's experienced it once already. And it's honestly the biggest thing he's worried about. Deterring himself away from his own family. He's come to before. he murdered someone. He fucking murdered them. He was shoving chunks of their leg into his mouth whenever he regained consciousness, and fuck, he just doesn't want to. It's gonna make him sick. He just doesn't want to think about it. This in Izuku's mind. And currently, he doesn't quickly move. Nedre and Bakugo trying to catch up. Them using Stain's training to try and tail Izuku. Right now, they try to catch up to him where he was. And Nedre tried to catch up to him where she thought he might be. And currently Deku, he does have a bit of a path in his mind. He wanted to go to other camps. However, right now, he's going to be making his way through an area that'll be a bit more dangerous. That'll be a lot more hazardous. It'll be safer. No, not safer. Quicker? Well, if he is going to be followed, maybe. Then again, no one likes to use the tunnels anymore. This is Izuku's mind. And we do currently have Nedre, who does go to actually turn a corner and see the man. Currently him sitting there. As right now Deku would bring his hand up. Him walking down into the dark tunnel. And currently Nedre would watch on. Her silently moving her way over and thinking about a few things. As there actually is where the man, he does make his way down into the dark. And Deku, he does start to look around. The subway here, he's pretty sure it's lost power. He's pretty sure, what was it? No. The part of the grid here is down. Or was it down? The lights might be broken, but replacing them will be... It's not his fucking job. This is going to be annoying. Okay. If he's right, he goes down the track for about a mile or so. There's a train car. He makes his way through there. Everything will be fine. At some point, the lights do come back on. So, yeah. Things will be okay. That area is less damaged. He can pop out there. Then he can make his way towards UA. Or, no. He can go further down the track and pop out closer to UA? Maybe. Shit. He needs to remember the train schedule. Remember a bit? This on his mind. And Nedre, she currently doesn't try to follow Deku. Her unaware as to his identity. And right now Deku, he does make his way down the track. Her radioing into Bakugo and letting him know that she found him, and she's following him. Currently Bakugo trying to tell her not to do so without him. Where is she? And she would try to tell him. She's at the train station. She doesn't know where he's heading to, but she'll follow him. Find out more. Listen, this guy won't take any risk, right? They're well trained. They've got guns. And as far as she's seen, he might only have the one their group gave him. Listen, just let her follow him and she'll be back soon. She knows how to survive out here. She won't take any risk. Be aware of that. Bakugo tried to argue with her. However, she will just simply turn off her radio, and then Bakugo is still staying there. Currently, him looking around and seeing a few things. Bakugo a bit more worried. Right now, him making his way down the road and smashing one of the infected on his way down the road. This still worrying him. The areas closer to the center are where the zombies are most prominent. There are more out here. But now, he thinks that there might be a group of people in here. Not just regular people. He wants to say there are crazies here. They've been spreading out. Something's going on in that community. If there is one. Hell, the fucking bandits might as well. They might as well just be bandits. Call them that, whatever the fuck. The crazies are at war with one another. Their factions or whatever are fighting, whatever you want to call it. Groups, camps, whatever. He's tired of this shit. That on Bakugo's mind. And currently Bakugo, he is trying to find Nejire. Catch her to that station, since he doesn't know where she might be. Whenever Bakugo would walk into it, he would see that the thing, it's not very well lit. It's dark. The only real light you have comes from the sun beaming down inside. And this does have him worried. He doesn't know which way Nejire went. So, he can't follow. This annoying him. He's minutes behind her. And currently Deku, he does make his way down the road. Down the track. A lot going through his own head. His mind is preoccupied, heavily, on the thoughts of his hunger, on what he might need to do, how to handle certain situations. He wants to take on Sir Night-Eye, but at the same time, from what he understands, the dam is still another threat. It might be worrying his group, worrying Nejire, worrying Setsuna. If he can take it out, then he can take that stress off of her shoulders. From what he read, it's not good for the baby. And this, it does give him a bit of a smile. Currently, him making his way down the track and climbing into a train car. Currently, him making his way through it and being a bit more careful. And Nejire, she would walk past the car right now as Deku makes his way through. This taking a few minutes. And currently we do actually at least have almost an hour later, where Deku, eventually, he does end up pop out into another station. One that does have some lights on, along with a few people. Now, currently Deku, he would have made his way in, and Nejire, she would have watched this guy walk into the station as she hears voices. Currently Deku, he walks in a bit too casually. However, she can see that the man is trying to be stealthy. Her moving forwards and then hearing a sound. As currently, there is where she would hide there. Her bring her hand out and grabbing her pistol. Finding out that this man was part of the crazies was worth knowing. However, she would have started looking into the room, seeing that he climbed up and onto the actual area, trying to sneak his way through and get at the staircase. However, there actually is where Deku, he made his way out. He got to the stairs, and a zombie, up at the top, it was shuffling by. And it was hearing the meaty whacks these people were giving to a zombie, before somebody was going to turn. Hearing a zombie crumble down the stairs and smash down halfway up, on the landing. And currently Deku does stand there facing away from these people. Him going to just don't turn. And this does mean a bit. One of the crazies going to actually turn, handing off their weapon and pulling out a gun. And before Nejire can react, the person going to fire a gun directly at Izuku. Him being blasted in the back as he was about to fall forwards onto the stairs. His bag tumbling to the right, and him going to lay there. And Nejire would have watched on. These people going to blast Deku in the back several more times. As there is the man, he would have finally hear a clicking sound. Him still going to click the gun over and over and over again. Before getting annoyed. Him turning and chucking the weapon towards the wall. It flying through the air and smashing into it. And Nejire would turn her head. If she can play her cards right, she can grab that. Just crawl out further and not hop over. It would be good. Her gonna not turn. The guy's dead. And these people, they're gonna take what they can and... Shit. There goes their best lead on a smart zombie. It passed into her mind. And there currently is Deku, who does still lay there. Several wounds in his back. And someone would have bent down, grabbing him by the leg. Them being to drag him down and onto the floor. And this, it does make them a bit happier. Something new to hit, something new to break, something new to hurt. And they're actually sort of somebody they would go to roll Izuku over and see him. His hoodie a bit fallen off, and seeing the man with the white hair, the goggles, and the face covering. And currently they're acting as Izuku, who when somebody does gonna bring their hand up with a weapon, they're gonna slash it down. Deku bringing his hand up and grabbing the bat they had. And this does somewhat startle them. Them letting go of it and backing away. As somebody else, they do begin to yell, "What the fuck?" And Nedre will stop moving. Her goes on sit there as their ears are to hear a groaning sound. And there actually is Deku, who would get back up, going to sit up, currently annoyed. And this does mean a bit. Someone gonna rush forwards as there actually is Deku, who does feel a slip. And right now, he would turn. Him climbing to his feet and rushing the largest man in the group. The two colliding as Deku picks this man up and smashes him directly into the wall. Him bringing his hand out and grabbing him by the face, pulling his head backwards and smashing it into the wall. Him doing it over and over and over. And Nedre does get to hear the sound. And this, it does alarm her. Her going to somewhat turn and bring herself a bit over this side, seeing that the mystery man is back onto his feet. But that shouldn't be possible. That's not right. The man, he was killed. He was shot. Is he wearing a vest? There's got to be a reason, an explanation. I mean, bulletproof vest, from what that one lady told them from the other group. They wear down after the first shot. But he wasn't shot in the same spot, so I mean, maybe he just needs medical attention. Maybe he just hurts a lot. Maybe he's wearing protective gear. This on her mind. Her watching Deku smash the man's head directly into the wall before he would go to turn. Him having the man be thrown to the ground, who does have blood pouring out of the back of his skull. And Izuku would turn. Nedre seeing some brains painted on the back of that wall. And this, it does annoy her. Right now she's thought a lot of things about this guy. He was simple, a nomad. And there actually is Deku, who would go to turn. Him motioning to the bat that somebody dropped. And currently, the leader does a stare on Izuku. Him rushing forwards with a golf club. And Deku, he doesn't stand there. Him going to step to the right and bring his hand out. Him grabbing the man's throat and then going to throw him backwards. The man being sent flying towards the wall and smashing down. The woman of the group currently making her way forwards. Her wielding a machete as Deku, he does go to bring his own hands up. Her going to try and slash at him as Deku, he always won't step forwards. Currently, him feeling his mouth watering, smelling the blood, and feeling it in his hands. And this hunger that wells up inside of Izuku, it does finally snap. Currently Deku lunging forwards and making a sound. Currently him biting through the face covering as he does get a bite and sink his teeth directly into the woman's neck. Him bringing his hands up and then going to toss her away. Her being sent flying backwards and smashing into a wall. Her being struck by something hard. And currently she's going to bring her hand up. Her clutching at the side of her own throat, and Deku, he does his own chew. The man hearing that crunching sound, which should only be part of her esophagus. And this, it does unnerve him. Him going to somewhat step backwards, and then going to turn, looking around for another weapon. Looking around for something else. And there actually is Deku, who he would go motion towards the bat. The man, annoyed. Him going to turn his back to Izuku as Deku would rush forwards. Currently, him doing so fast. And by the time the guy doesn't make it halfway up the stairs, Deku would bring his hand out, grabbing the man by his leg and going to turn. Him dragging him off the stairs and chucking him towards the far wall. The man being sent flying into it and smashing into it, before landing on the ground and being in a lot of pain. him groaning out as Deku would turn back to the woman, making his way towards her and beginning to feed. And Nedre does sit there silently, her hearing this man groan out in pain, and seeing the wound he does have. Because his leg, it's bent the other way. And from what she thinks, his neck, it shouldn't be that way, but how is he alive? Her sitting there, her shaking, and only hearing that sound, hearing what can be best described as teeth crunching through muscle. Something wet, tearing. And this, it doesn't give her a lot of confidence. Her actually gonna turn. As she does, you're gonna try and move a bit fast. However, her hands do so slip in the stone. And this, it does alarm her when she does not fall forwards and gonna catch herself. Her making a sound in the vacant station. And Deku, he doesn't stop. Currently, him going to actually turn back towards the rail. And Nedre, she doesn't stop. Her trying to think about what to do. The guy who comes to their camp is a zombie. The guy who comes to their camp, he doesn't have a smart zombie. He is the fucking zombie. God. God help them. But wait. Maybe. She does have a gun. Aim for the head. That's what she needs to do. Right. Deku taking a step forwards. And Nedre, the moment she hears a foot fall, she just does not jump up. Her aiming the gun up and taking a few steps backwards against the far wall. And there actually is Deku, who does go to stare at Nedre. Him getting a bit more of his senses and then staring at her. Gonna open his mouth and feeling the blood covering his face. Before he does, goes to bring his hands up and try to express through the bloody rag covering his face with a hole in it. He can explain. What the fuck are you? That's a lot to explain. Listen. Just put the gun down. No one needs to be hurt. No. If you wanted to kill me, you could have. My group. Why come to us? You're a monster. I know. I'm not like other monsters. Bullshit. You want us dead, don't you? For food? You are making deals, aren't you? Who else do you sell blood to? It's yours, isn't it? It's my blood, yeah. So who else do you sell to? Give to? What deal did you make with the doctor? Chizuki? You know his name? I do. Listen, whatever deal you made, just don't. Don't come back to our camp. That's what I'm telling you. I'm gonna leave. You're hungry, right? Just go back to eating. And I won't have to fire at you. I'll draw in more. They'll eat your food. Deku's staring at Nedre. Her hands are shaking, and her eyes, they show nothing but raw fear. And this isn't how he wants to see her. How he wants her to look at him. Him bringing his hand towards his mouth. Him telling her, okay, listen, it's complicated. Him going to start pulling down this rag. And Nedre, the moment she's actually pulled the trigger, Deku does not turn. Him dodging the bullet as Nedre with a turn bolting back down the rails. Her with a head over her shoulder on a swivel. Trying to at least look behind her every few steps as she's bolting. And this, it terrifies her. The idea that somebody was so close to their camp, that somebody was so close to her people, and they were an infected. They were somebody they thought about opening up the gates to. They were a fucking infected. It scares her. And right now, Nedre bolts her way down the entire rail. She runs that mile fast before jumping up and onto the, well, area and bolting up the stairs. Her trying to radio into Bakugo about what's going on. And Bakugo, he stayed in the area. He tried to look around for a bit more, but whenever Nedre had her voice come through his radio frantically, he got back to the vehicle and drove over. Her talking about how she's already running back to the manor. And Bakugo, he found her a few blocks away. Her trying to ignore some of the zombies and trying to fire at some of the other ones. Though she just jumped into the car as fast as she could and it began to barrel down the road. Bakugo having to pick up some speed to escape the zombies following them. And Nedre, she was manic. She seemed like she was going psychotic. She was yelling off about the guy. The stranger didn't have a zombie. He was the zombie. She saw him eating people. She saw him get shot and get back up. And it scared the fucking shit out of her. And this, it's rather bad. They don't really know what to say. They don't know what to do. And we do actually have Izuku. About 2 hours later. Who? He came back to UA. He had a lot going through his head. A lot of things to think about. A lot of things to do. Currently, him with a person draped over his shoulder. The biggest man of that group. It was easy to get him back here. But other zombies, yeah. They wanted to have a pick of their own flesh. Though Deku, he brought another body up the stairs. At least as an offering. He gets his pound of flesh, they get theirs. Though Izuku, he is still trying to keep his mind clear. Trying to think about a lot of things. He doesn't want to have to eat flesh. But if he's going to have to stomach it, then he's going to have to. If he's going to want to survive, he's going to have to. Though, it does also have him concerned. He still has that bullet with his fucking name on it. Should he use it? Should he do anything with it? It's an idea. It's certainly an idea. And Deku, when he does get back to UA, he doesn't hear a sound. Currently, him looking out the window as it does begin to start rain. And Izuku, he does start look up. Him just a little bit more confused about that. Because if he's right, then it should be it's too early for rain. And in this, it does make Izuku a bit more confused. And also, a little scared. If it's raining right now, months before it should be, what is going on? What's happening? I mean, he knows about early summer showers, but this should not be it. This is too early. And currently Deku, he does his own turn. Him looking at Mina, who already began the process of getting this man a bit cooked up, since she already tore off one of his legs. And Deku, he is trying to think about a few things. Currently him gonna look back outside, and he began to hear that rain pour. Now, with that being said, Deku, he needs to have an answer for this question. He needs to find out what the hell is going on. Because if he wasn't down there for as long as he thinks he was, maybe something else has happened. He should have only been gone for a month for the group, right? Just a month? But if it wasn't a month, then how long has it been? How long has it been? How long has it been? And this question, it does mean to bury its way chaotically through Deku's mind. And with that being said, he does look up. thinking about it, worried. Next week, go to the manor again. Explain this. Try to, at the very least. Reveal himself? Maybe. Maybe. Or just bite the bullet? And this, it does make Deku concerned. All these ideas, and yet not one solution he wants to encounter. There's a problem with every one of them. And with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.